These are 30 times where wildlife safari trips took a horrible turn. Watch as the king of the jungle closes in on these people as he finds something interesting, or maybe is driven by hunger. As the safari driver rides away with the tourists, the lion gives chase behind them. These guys might be laughing now, but if that lion was hungry, things would have been quite the opposite. Now that is a sight to behold. Very few get to see such a majestic being run behind them, but very lucky few also get away unharmed from it. Open safaris present a significant risk due to the fact that rhinos, despite their placid attitude, may be extremely dangerous. Because of their enormous size, robust strength, and unpredictable nature, they provide a significant threat if they are agitated. Caution and maintaining an appropriate distance are essential for ensuring not just the rhino's safety, but also the safety of onlookers. Despite all of that, these people on an Indian safari park brought out a very small car and a very inexperienced driver. The mother had a calf and proceeded to attack the car, causing it to go off the trail and flip over. To people who say elephants are calm and collected creatures and call them gentle giants, this video is for you. The van driver tries his best to move away as soon as he gets the chance, but the elephant is too smart for that and literally picks up the van from one side, causing its wheels to spin in the air. However, the Goliath is not done yet. The animal, of course, is not only driven by anger, but also by food that the people who were enjoying their safari ride up until that point had in their hands. With the food secure and out of the broken van window, the driver finally starts it back up and rockets away. When it comes to big animals like these rhinos, intimidation is your best ally, as it can help secure your stance. The stronger the creature before them is, the more rhinos are inclined to automatically back away. When the road was blocked by these couple of rhinos, the safari guides used their cars for intimidation.
You can go to the side, it's fine. I'll be blocking this one too.
That was, of course, of no use, as one of the rhinos was in no mood to back down against the overpowering competition. Instead, the driver himself started reversing his truck back. Now, the problem is, they have to go over to the other side, but they can't safely move with the rhinos between them. One daring driver then decides to gun it from the side, almost ending up with a new hole in his car. Goes to show that these rhinos are not just fat unicorns. If you think otherwise, well, you might want to stop undermining their strength at this moment, because these guys can easily chuck 1,000 pounds. As you can see, this safari car has been totally destroyed, and that zebra camo did not come in handy one bit. Once these behemoths get going, they're like juggernauts that can't be stopped unless they want to. Another heavyweight that can probably stand up to these cursed unicorns is the even heavier hippos. With the most number of human deaths due to their outbursts of aggression, hippos have been known to be the most dangerous animals in the whole of Africa. These guys got to experience some of the hippo action with the best seats in the house. Just imagine that thing coming up to you like that at full speed. But have you ever experienced something while on another animal? If you thought being in these vehicles or boats was a tough job and a thrilling experience, imagine sitting on an elephant while you get attacked by a tiger. You can't even control an elephant like a vehicle.
Lovely yaar. Video
Tigers are the only animals other than polar bears that actively hunt humans for consumption, and this guy on the back of the elephant probably knows that.
My goodness.
Lovely.
Thankfully enough, the elephant actually provides a little protection, as it is more intimidating and can actually crush the tiger under its foot. Thankfully, the tiger here knows better and backs away a little. The lion may be king of the jungle, but the tiger shows everyone how it's actually a dictatorship.
Wow. My goodness.
Now let's see what the other lesser-known and underrated big cat, the cheetah, is doing. The smallest out of the three, the cheetah is actually the most docile of the three big cats that we talked about so far. When approaching cars, this cheetah is of course very careful, but it's still very comfortable around human company. It sniffs the car out and fiddles with it for a while in order to inspect it for safety. It might remind you of your house cat, but beware of those massive claws, because they are incredible when it comes to slicing and dicing. It musters up the courage to climb aboard the safari vehicle. Still, there's caution behind the back of its head. Halfway on the hood of this 4x4, it throws caution to the wind and bails after a few seconds, going back to the soft grassland before walking away. All it wanted was a vantage point. Now let's look at an animal that already has a natural vantage point wherever it goes. Already standing at a towering 5.5 meters on average, a giraffe can see any sort of danger coming from 6 miles away. When these guys got close to one, it charged right at them as fast as it could with those tree-like legs. Now that is a sight to behold, isn't it? What happens when you're not in your car during a safari and a lion manages to spot you sitting like ducks? Surprisingly, these guys lived to tell the tale of that exact scenario when they came across a visibly pissed lioness. Regret and probably the thoughts of changing their underwear set in instantly. You might feel safe if you have a rifle in your hand, but you never know how many bullets these tanks can take before even going down. The intense face-off becomes even more intense as the lion starts growling as she is getting agitated. As the guys increase their distance, the lioness erupts into a charge to intimidate them, and bravely enough these people stand still to overcome the lioness with their calm and steadfast demeanor. Now that was a close call. If any sign of fright was let out by these people at all, they would have become snacks for the pride. Ostriches, on the other hand, are usually mistaken for being peaceful animals that are easy to coexist with. But here is one example that fact-checks that claim. Calmly being fed out of the car window, this ostrich slowly becomes more and more comfortable around these people. And the more animals become calm around people, the more they think they can bully them.
Your safari today. The eland is the largest
Attack
of the African
ostrich.
antelope species, with males reaching 6 feet at the shoulder and weighing 1.
When the next car rolls up, it becomes clear how greedy the ostrich has really become, and it starts pecking at the window and demanding that they give it food. Guess these safari animals are getting a bit too spoiled for their own good at this rate.
He wants everything.
Eland are easily
Oh,
and are
Oh
followed
my
Attack-
God.
attack
Before you
ostrich.
break my window.
attack ostrich.
See you later, bro.
Lions, on the other hand, are too cool to be fed through the car, and too dangerous, too. A spectacular scene halted the line of cars that was taking place in the middle of an open safari area. A pride of lions was seen savoring the feast only a few feet from the road. Onlookers were so enthralled by this up-close experience with wild animals that their cameras couldn't stop clicking. Here, amid a unique form of savanna, the line separating the realms of humans and animals became increasingly hazy, demonstrating the elemental pull of nature's power. Watching these animals hunt during a safari is another truly marvelous sight to behold on its own. On this hot day, the lions were hiding under the shade on the road from the scorching sunlight. People got a chance to take an up-close and personal look at these beasts.
ライオン社会のさまざまな行動が観察できるようになりました。爪研ぎや岩の上で昼寝を
As soon as the safari car started moving, a lion charged an eagle that was landing directly in front of him. The lion seized the eagle with lightning speed and pinpoint accuracy, leaving his brothers dumbfounded. During this brief but intense interaction, the wild forces of nature took center stage, serving as a striking reminder of the immovable hierarchy that exists in the wild.
のびのびとしたライオンの姿を観察してください。
お、捕まえた。
ライオンは
捕まえた。
基本的に
The lion quickly runs off before any of his brothers decide to take a bite out of the already small bird and let his efforts be in vain. Now he sits, hiding in the long grass with his prize in his mouth as it slowly takes shallower breaths and dies off.
肉食で凶暴なイメージを持たれていますが、実は優しい動物なのです。プライドと呼ばれる群れを作りますが、
Hunting these animals is just sad if you think about it. And just like wasps, if you kill one, another might come to take revenge if you are still hanging around the same spot. Here we have a couple of animals that have just hunted down this magnificent animal with a great mane and had the guts to be happy about it. Hunting is illegal, and these guys are here taking trophy shots with their new kill.
Right here? Yeah. Okay, that's it. Get behind his head. That's it. Here? Yeah. To the left.
But there's an old saying that is actually very famous for being true all the time. It goes like, "What goes around comes around." And their victory celebration is short-lived when another lion, probably belonging to the same family, shows up to teach these idiots a lesson.
That's right. Okay, good stuff.
Likewise, people tend to get a little too comfortable with other wild animals, especially the big and fat kind. Everyone seems to be mistaking rhinos for having a cool and calm attitude toward people because of their poor eyesight. That actually makes them more dangerous, as they are hardly able to distinguish between foe and friend. Here comes one in the mood to wreck these people back to where they came from. home when it comes to interactions like these. A scene that will stop your heart is about to play out. A lioness, having had her curiosity piqued, begins to walk alongside an automobile as though it were a pet. She moves with caution while maintaining a heightened awareness of her surroundings, especially behind her. The atmosphere is filled with excitement, which may be described as a combination of wonder and anxiety. A male lion walks in, and the feline's curiosity grows as the automobile moves forward. As the lion jumps on the back and starts to nibble at the car's plastics, panic sets in for the people in the car. They decide to just keep going, and amazingly, the glass holds up to all that pressure. Okay, so lions are very bold when it comes to cars and humans in general, but cheetahs are completely different, and you'll see why. An unbelievable thing happened when a cheetah walked into a journalist's car. It was obviously a cheetah, but it behaved like a well-loved pet by approaching and sniffing at a journalist with surprising calmness. The adorable sight that was created by the cheetah playfully nibbling at the journalist's shirt gave a picture of an improbable friendship. An unanticipated link emerged in the midst of the natural setting, illuminating the fundamental relationships that can exist between even the most wild animals and humans.
Aweze kuishi. Kesi ya cheetah na huyu jamaa haijaisha, akaja begani.
The journalist and the cheetah were both taken aback when, in an unexpected change of events, the cheetah accidentally slipped through the skylight about halfway. The instincts of the journalist kicked in almost instantly, and they gently helped the cheetah back up, which prevented it from falling into the car. Because of this event, there is now an even stronger link between them, as trust was able to flourish in spite of the possibility of something going wrong. The unplanned encounter that took place during the safari proceeded to play out, portraying an astonishing picture of friendship between different species.
Huyu dada akataka kunishika.
However, not all animals can fit inside a car, especially if they weigh as much as 5 tons. With its ears flattened outward to make itself even bigger, this elephant charges right towards this safari jeep, and I can bet my left leg that someone must have relieved themselves. It does make for an outstanding day at the savannah, though, because not everyone can flex about having to go through this in their lives. Eventually, the heavy guy tires out and decides to let these guys slide this time. He doesn't have the time or energy to waste on guys like this. There is one particular sort of animal that you are less likely to find in the wild African plains compared to the normal everyday town or village. Goat herders have a simple but interesting way of life in the vast wild desert. Moving to the beat of nature, they walk across the open fields with their goat. Sometimes lucky tourists happen upon these real scenes and get a glimpse of a world that is very different from their own. The link that the herders have with the land and their animals is a powerful reminder that people and the wild can live together in peace.
And they're posing.
A tour group was surprised when an elephant put its trunk through a bus window. The person sitting there was startled by the sudden visitor and quickly got up and left. Because it was so curious, the elephant reached in to see if it could smell food. This funny event showed how close animals and people live together, and it reminded everyone there of the wild beauty and unpredictability of the natural world. This gives everyone the chance to see the animal up close and personal, and maybe even touch it, but the safari guide instantly jumps in and tries to shove the elephant's trunk back out the window before anyone gets hurt. Mixing farm animals with the vast diversity of the African plains can be a little catastrophic, as lions tend to hunt down cattle as well. In the middle of this sensitive balance, lions often go after the Maasai's livestock. This complicated dance of life shows how complicated the relationship between people and animals is, as their ways of making a living and the wild forces of nature are intertwined. It shows how hard it is for both species and how complicated the web of life is in this beautiful place.
Będzie gryzł. Patrz, bierze się za nim, patrz. Patrz, gryzie, patrz.
These tourists got lucky when they got to witness the meeting of these two forces. The people of the Maasai tried to get their revenge on the lion as it devoured their cattle right in front of everybody. They charge at the lion as it fills its belly, and knowing that those spears can fatally hurt him, the lion picks himself up and takes off into the long grass, hopefully not repeating his mistakes later. The heat can sometimes bring out the soft side of these animals too. During this hot and boiling day, these lions come up to the safari vehicles and try to get under them, one by one, or get inside their shadows to block the sun. Who could blame them, though? Sometimes they need a cool place to calm down too. As a special treat for their human guests, the male lion lets out a bone-trembling roar right in the faces of the tourists. His female partner seems to be enjoying the shade, but he is too skeptical to even consider laying down beside these people. If there is another animal that does not shy away from approaching humans, it is the rhino. When two rhinos ran towards a car full of tourists on a safari trail, it was an exciting moment. As they charged, people's hearts beat faster because of how big they were. Just as the people were getting excited, one by one they stopped and ran away from each other. This dramatic meeting gave people a glimpse into the untamed rhythm of the wild, where closeness and primal feelings came together. Both the tourists and the rhinos will remember this experience for the rest of their lives. Who do you think charges better, a lion or a rhino? During a walking trip in Kruger National Park, a lion charged at a group of tourists. This was a very exciting scene. As the beautiful predator got closer, hearts beat faster in a natural dance between fear and interest. But in a shocking turn, the lion suddenly stepped back, leaving a feeling of awe in its wake. The meeting showed how unpredictable the wild is and how close you feel to it when you are there. A few seconds later, the group felt anxiety rise again. The same lion came back, but this time he was even scarier and more dangerous than before. As it closed the gap, its strong steps made waves in the air. It stopped just a few meters away. Then, just as quickly as it had come, the lion ran away, showing how wild and beautiful nature can be and how fascinating it is to watch people and the wild interact. Ever been kayaking with a hippo? A group of tourists decided to go kayaking this day, in hippo-infested waters too. They crept up to the hippos, and then suddenly they were spotted.
Hey! Whoa.
They quickly climbed over the grassland to make their escape, causing the hippo to stop chasing them. Indian elephants are not too far behind when it comes to having anger issues with humans as well. This mother charges full throttle at this safari car. The elephant gets closer and closer by the second, probably because of the young calves in the herd. Finally, tired and out of breath, she stops to collect her breath and watches the car start to leave. She waves the car goodbye, as if to signal a very proud, "Ha! Made you scared, didn't I?" Has someone ever disturbed you while you and your spouse were busy appreciating each other? Well, sadly for this lion, his privacy was invaded when a group of wild tourists came right up to him when he was just getting finished with his missus. Rightfully so, the lion got angry and started charging towards the sick people, scaring the living Jesus out of them as they started shaking and trembling in their seats.
Is that cool?
Now let us divert our eyes a little more vertically to see our next animal. Watching this thing up close like this person witnessed is a lucky and astonishing view indeed. But getting too close to any wild animal is kind of a bad idea, especially if you are on foot. The giraffe sizes the guy up and finally lines up a perfect blow, causing him to lose his camera.
Tell you about the scale.
He gets up and finally makes a run for it, like he should have 2 minutes ago. During a safari, a curious ostrich ran up to a car full of excited children and their grandma. As the grandma tries to keep the bird from flying in through the window, people laughed and were surprised at the same time. Even though she tried, the quick ostrich stole the food, causing a moment of lively chaos and shared joy.